Hey everybody, it's Roland Millington with The Lowest Note, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about some fretboard specifics and your left hand positioning, or your right hand, depending on which hand is your fretting hand. Now, when we talk about playing bass, the positioning that you're seeing my hand in here is not a position that you really want to be when you're playing bass. The biggest problems that you see here is you've got my thumb over top of the fretboard, and you've got my palm fully in contact with the bass, and all of my fingers are touching the edge of the neck. Now, you're not going to have everything perfect. You got small little hands like mine. I mean, I've got these little like Burger King sandwich hands, you know. Burger King makes my hands look small. And you know what they say about guys with small hands? They have difficulties fretting things on the bass. So, what you see when somebody's doing this is they've really locked up their hand positionings on the bass, and it makes it much more difficult to be fluid, especially over a wide range of notes across the bass. So just talking about the basics of how you hold your neck, you want to try to keep your finger on the skunk stripe on the back. You're going to try to keep your thumb right there. And usually my thumb falls anywhere between there, and you really just want to find out where it's most comfortable for you. You want to try, if at all humanly possible, to make sure that the only thing touching your neck, aside from the fingers on the strings, is your thumb on the back. Now, I'm here to tell you that's not the easiest thing to do. It requires a lot of work to get that level of compliance out of your hands. But it does help. You want to just try to make sure that you're not gripping with your index, or if you're resting a little bit on there, if it touches, I don't think the bass guitar police are going to come and arrest you. But you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the ability to move up and down on a single anchor point, moving anywhere. Here, let's see what we got here. You can see how much range I've got. I've got at the in fourth position, fifth position right here, I can fret the third fret, which is G on the E string, and I can fret all the way up to my E on the G string. So I've got a substantial amount of range in there that I can work. And if you work at it long enough, if you work your scales, if you work on all your forms within there, then you're actually going to give yourself a pretty substantial amount of range when you're building bass lines. And it's all going to be relatively fluid because you're going to be in the exact same spot. And even if your finger moves an inch to an inch and a half, the space of about a fret, it's no big deal. As long as you keep relatively anchored within that area, it gives you that range. And that's important because you can find home simply by, I'm touching my pinky to my thumb, I'm touching my index to my thumb. I'm reaching a good long distance all the way up to that E, and I'm dropping all the way back to the G. Now, some of the exercises that I used in order to do this are some really, really fun ones, and they're boring. It's a simple box exercise, but I do it between my index and my middle finger, my index and my ring, my index and my pinky, and I will just sit there and run up the neck. Now, if you can see my thumb right back there, it never moved. And that's the important part that you want here. And you don't really want speed to begin with. It's like anything in life. You're going to develop correct mechanics first, and then you'll develop speed. And everybody wants to play fast, but the key is in playing correctly to begin with. Fast and sloppy sounds like crap. Clean, and if it's slower but it's clean and it's tasty note placement, that's the stuff, especially playing bass. So just once again, make sure that your hand positioning isn't clutching all up on the neck. You're not grabbing the bass. You're not trying to choke it to death. You're guiding it. It's just like a dance. It's just like when you're dancing, you don't want to force your partner to go here, go there, go someplace else. You're going to guide them. So you're guiding your index, your middle, and your ring and your pinky fingers to the notes using your thumb. So once again, really, really simple, and you just just running up and down the neck, and you use as many as you can. And when you got little fingers like me, it's kind of tough to cover to 2 like that. I mean, that's a substantial walk down, and you can make different patterns. You can actually do this in your patterns. You could pretty much make up any little game that you want to try to expand your ability to do this. So it's just a little tip, a little something to think about, working in as many different positions as you can, because obviously your fret spacing is different up here than your fret spacing down here. And what is going to be a substantial reach up here is going to be a very simple reach up here. So just do yourself a favor, practice it all over the neck. And remember, it's not about finding this correct note placement and doing all of these runs and licks and riffs and everything like that. You're simply trying to acquaint yourself with where you are at on the neck as you're moving up and down. And that's really all it's about. Getting yourself used to using your thumb as an anchor. Listen, I'm going to try to post as many of these little tips as I can. Some of them as they come to mind. Anybody has any suggestions, I'd be more than happy to come up with a few. And I appreciate everybody taking the time to comment, to subscribe, to rate, to do whatever. I appreciate it. I hope you find something useful here. And you know what? Stay low.